Well, hello there. Do hope you're all well. And yes, the weekend is nearly upon us. And hope when this video comes out on the night, I'll probably be watching Max's live stream. I always enjoy them. But I just wanted to show you this little article that I just read. It just sums up the video that I showed the day before, where Theo should hot trots it into the LBC studio to show the video of Lord Frost cacking his load in the House of Lords. Was rather interesting. But anyway, I came across this rather interesting article, and it is: the EU tells Frost Brexit talks will fail unless he ditches the ECJ demand. And well, yeah, quite obviously. Now, when it comes to the ECJ, I think I could be wrong, and I'm not sure somewhere. It's as far as I can remember, it's there for people who are from the European Union who are living in other countries, which seems quite reasonable to me, you know. So I don't really understand. Well, I never really understood what the whole problem with the European Court of Justice was in the first place. So anyway, this is an article that was written by Danny Boffey and Lisa O'Carroll, and it basically says the EU's Brexit Commissioner will tell David Frost that negotiations over Northern Ireland are doomed to fail unless he drops an unattainable demand over the role of the European Court of Justice. Saying at a meeting in London on Friday, Mario Sefcovic will warn the UK's Brexit Minister, Lord Frost. Paw! Yeah, sorry, I can't help it. Every time I read it, I've just got to do the paw bit, because the man's a clown, isn't he? That Downing Street needs to take a step towards the EU for the talks to be meaningful. There is growing concern in Brussels that Boris Johnson has already decided to trigger Article 16 of the Protocol in Northern Ireland in the coming weeks in order to suspend the post-Brexit arrangements and impose his own vision. Yeah, whatever. I'm judging by what our Lord Frost said in the House of Lords. I'm not sure about that. But I suppose only time will tell. It says Brussels is preparing a ladder of retaliatory options up to suspending the trade deal agreed last Christmas Eve while seeking to convince the UK of the virtues of its approach. Well, yeah, that'll be interesting. Now, I've heard that maybe when it comes close to maybe a general election, possibly next year, he might try and trigger some sort of trade war with the EU, you know, to bolster the support of his Brexit loons. I don't know. But anyway, it says here, Q&A saying what is Article 16, and I hope my laptop's having a dippy fit. Oh, the wonders of technology. Will you do as you're bloody told? Right, anyway. Saying, we think that the objectives set out by the UK are unattainable, said a senior EU official. The UK position is that the role of the EU's institution needs to go. As long as that remains the UK position, I don't see what we can do. Well, yeah, obviously. It seems to me that our Bodger and his acolytes just want to rule Britannia. Britannia waves the rules and just do whatever they like. It's not going to happen, is it? Let's be honest. And I think we showed with the absolute back down the other day proves that. They're all mouth and no trousers. Anyway, the talks over the post-Brexit arrangement for Northern Ireland are in their fourth week. A protocol in the withdrawal agreement Johnson signed keeps Northern Ireland in the single market and draws a customs border down the Irish Sea in order to avoid a hard border on the island of Ireland. In October, the EU offered a drastically reduced the number of checks on goods coming from Great Britain to Northern Ireland in recognition of the protocol and economic disruption being caused. But the UK is insisting that the protocol needs a more fundamental redrafting, including the removal of the European Court of Justice from its role as arbiter of EU law. Which is, let's be honest, I don't think it's going to happen, because if you have people from the EU living in your country, they're going to be subject to EU law, if I remember rightly. I could be wrong. I know people will put me right on that. The EU wants to engage in intensive talks, and we are happy to do so, an EU official said before Friday's meeting. But then the UK must take a step towards us to ensure that the talks are meaningful. If the UK wants these discussions to succeed, then the major step that we took on the 13th of October needs to be reciprocated. On questions around governance and the Court of Justice, we have always made clear that we think that the objectives set out by the UK are unattainable. Brussels believes the UK is being too dogmatic in its approach, raising concerns about the sincerity of the Prime Minister's desire to find a solution. Well, no shit, Sherlock. The man's lied all his life. What do you expect from the clown? But anyway, the EU officials point to attempts to answer concerns over the collection of VAT in Northern Ireland. Downing Street has complained that evolution in the EU law book that applies in Northern Ireland could put traders there at a disadvantage compared with those based in the rest of the UK. An EU official said there is a specific provision in the protocol which gives a role to the Joint Committee for finding solutions where the applications of VAT principles under the protocol creates issues in Northern Ireland. It's one of the subparagraphs of Article 8. At that point, for example, we say, why don't we use the mechanism specifically provided for in the protocol to see how far we can go? And yet the UK, having never tried that calls for a radical different approach to VAT, which would require a renegotiation of the protocol. France's EU Affairs Minister Clement Bouan, sorry if I butchered your name, I'm a Yorkshire bloke, cut me some slack, suggested Northern Ireland had been benefiting from its access to both the EU and single market, describing Brexit as a failure instead for the rest of the UK. He said on Thursday, Brexit is a failure. It's clear. Brexit has an impact on the British economy, more negative than COVID. It's written in black and white. We've seen the shortages take place in Great Britain. The problems in Northern Ireland are better because they have access to the European market. Well, yeah, obviously. I personally think that, I think once the penny drops, I think a lot of people, well, sensible people in England will be saying, well, why can't we have some of that? And I think that's what people like Bodger and Lord Frost are scared of. But anyway, speaking in the House of Lords on Wednesday, Frost urged the EU to keep calm. In my view, this process of negotiations has not reached its end, he said, although we have been talking for nearly 4 weeks, there remain possibilities that the talks have not yet seriously examined, including many approaches that have been suggested by the UK. The Labour Party called on Johnson to reach a deal with the EU over the Northern Ireland Protocol and end the poison of division. What is it with these three-worded meaning slogans? Never mind. And it says the government has provoked. The Shadow Northern Ireland Secretary Louise Haigh said the Conservative Party had been reckless in its approach to Northern Ireland, where a fragile peace was held for more than 20 years. In a speech to the Senator George J. Mitchell Institute for Peace in Belfast, she urged the Prime Minister not to provoke further poisonous instability in the weeks ahead. Haigh said the Conservatives' reckless custody of the Good Friday Agreement has sown division and undermined stability. This is not a partisan point, nor one that gives me any satisfaction. Peace in Northern Ireland is too precious to be a plaything of partisan politics. Quite rightly too. We have a Prime Minister who let's be honest, he doesn't really care, does he? The Labour Party recognises and pays tribute to the work done by John Major, who helped lay the ground for the Good Friday Agreement, but we cannot ignore the damage that has been done, she finished off with. And yeah, I agree. Now, when it came to the referendum result, to be fair, I voted Remain because for me, we're just better the devil you know than devil you don't. And as times have gone on and you listen to people who, let's be honest, know the shit, they've always said the Good Friday Agreement is always going to be the end of Brexit because, simple reason, the Good Friday Agreement is far too important. And I've always known about the Good Friday Agreement for a good 2-3 years, that it's going to be the end of it. But what do you expect from these people? I think they know straight away, but that it's not going to, Brexit is not going to work, but they've just got to keep going as they have been, haven't they, really? Because what else have they got now? They've proper dug themselves into a hole. But anyway, I want to I shall leave the video here, should I say, and I shall bid you farewell. Oh, and have a fantastic weekend, and till the next time, I shall bid you farewell. Take care.